It's gonna be one of those big fucking CD cases.
3.5-inch.
Yeah, one of them suckers that just comes out.
Are you gonna come home from work and listen to your CDs?
Yes, sir. I don't know what Spotify is, man. I'm gonna put in my Creed.
Creed.
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm gonna put in my Creed CD and just have a good old time. With arms wide open.
Oh God!
Oh
shut
my
it
God.
up.
Can we get
Welcome
like a
to-
count it down?
Oh my God! I'm gonna hold you the face, bro. Welcome. Welcome to 8-Bit Opinions. My name is Fosman. I am joined here by two of my best friends and Cameron.
That fuck.
So gentlemen, thank you for being here. As always, appreciate
Pleasure.
it. And this is our gaming podcast where we talk about, guess what, gaming stuff and just general shenanigans. Like I said, I am happy to have you guys here today because we've got some really cool topics. I feel like it's stuff that we were so excited to talk about and start like going on about that it was literally like bleeding into our conversation all day today. And we were all just like, stop, let's just stop talking. Let's wait for the podcast and let's do it when it's live. So that's what we're doing. How you guys feeling?
Fantastic.
Fuck it, we're doing it live.
I got my Red Bull. I'm ready to go.
Feel good.
Awesome. So we'll just get right into it then, like we always do. So the first topic is something huge that probably everyone and their mother has heard about by this point, because the second biggest like gaming transaction like ever occurred, and it was of course when Microsoft bought Bethesda last week.
For $7.5 billion.
$7.5 billion, dude. That is an insane amount. Obviously, that doesn't just fall under like Bethesda. That's like the Bethesda umbrella. So Microsoft owns all of that now. Bethesda Montreal, all the other Bethesda sects, Obsidian. So it's actually like really, really big news. One of my, I'm gonna say one of my main takeaways from it, and I'm just gonna give it over to you guys. But this is something that I talked about before. I said how probably the past half a year, especially, I was just looking at Xbox and I was like, all right, these guys are really not as interested in moving consoles anymore. Like that's not like the priority that they're taking. What they're worried about is like gaming as a service and like the whole business model, right? Of hey, we're gonna put all our games on here. We're gonna, just give it to you as a service, no matter where you're at, PC or Xbox. Like you can have this, and it's just something that will recur, right? Just like any of the other renewal type services. And you guys might disagree with me about this, but I'm kind of excited for it. I really am, because I am not that interested. My interest in Xbox is at an all-time low as it's ever been. I don't want to buy another console. I don't want to do all that. If what this does to me for the Game Pass, and when they bought Bethesda, it just solidified this. What this does to me is it gives the consumers and the gamers more options. So like if I want to play Xbox Game Pass games on my PC, I have that option now. And just a bunch of stuff like that, to where I do think it is beneficial for the consumer. You guys might disagree with that, would totally understand. But honestly, overall, like I'm excited for it because it allows me to enjoy Xbox type stuff again without having to fully commit to like a new gen console and all this shit that, quite frankly, I don't care about.
I think that we're all in the same boat on the console thing, because we all play. Well, I'm not caring about the new console release. Like, my brother texted me the other day and goes, "You buying this?" I'm like, "Why would I?"
Nah, I'll wait till it goes on sale. That's usually when I buy new gen consoles. Is when
we
they
were
go on
kind of
sale.
talking about that before this. I was saying like, if I ever buy another Xbox, it won't be because I intend to play on it. It's just because I want a Halo 6 edition Xbox when they release that one.
They are really cool.
Especially
I love having them just as collectibles. Like I have whole bunches of Xboxes over there that I just haven't even set up since I moved in here over a year ago.
And that's totally fair. And I think a lot of like, I mean, even Zidane would like understand that. Like a lot of people who enjoy like collectibles and stuff like that, like that to me, that makes more sense than actually being what you want to buy it for. Stan makes more sense to me than the people who actually just are legitimately excited for a new Xbox console because I mean, like, who the fuck cares? If anything, I would buy a PlayStation, the next gen PlayStation, if anything.
I feel the same way. If I was going to buy something, it'd probably be the next PlayStation.
For sure. Well, this is the first gen that has introduced a discless variation of their console with the PlayStation 5 being discless. The digital edition, no drive bay. So
I thought the Xbox Series, whatever, one of them had it, the cheaper one.
Series S, probably.
Yeah.
I know shit about the Xbox. I only know stuff about the PlayStation.
So both the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 both ship in a with disk drive and without model.
It's like they've been talking to each other.
It's like $50. Yeah. I don't know. It is exactly like how Foz described earlier. We're really making the push towards gaming as a service where, Microsoft and Sony are like, you know what? Everybody has computers laying around. Why do we want to sell them the whole kitchen sink and the console and all that?
Not Sony as much. They're not really in that ballpark as much as Microsoft is right now. And people are kind of for and against that, I would say. I think it's like, I think I'm kind of against it. Like, honestly, I like Sony a lot more. I like PlayStation. I like their games. But to me, this business model, but to me, this business model they're doing right now seems a little more archaic. And maybe that's because obviously it's different coasts and everything like that, but like that's my opinion on it. Do you guys are you excited about, so we don't care about Xbox console, right? We've kind of settled that, whatever. But are you guys excited for games as a service from Xbox? Because in my opinion, it does give you more options and stuff like that.
No, I'm not.
I agree. We've been playing. I mean, you've been playing Outer Worlds on it. I think it's cool, but I wouldn't say I'm not. I'm a little excited because I use the Xbox controller. Like, is there a new variation of the Xbox controller now or not?
I think there is.
I would assume
I think it's slightly updated, but it looks almost identical. I think
so
they just removed.
Are you saying it's similar to the Xbox One?
Yeah, so it's similar to the Xbox One controller. You know how the Xbox One controller has like the indent at the top where the Xbox button is?
Yeah.
It's like the same thing, but the indent is gone and it's just all flush, but the button's in the same place.
I mean, I assume the buttons wouldn't move, but I just want to know how it felt. Like, I just think the Xbox controllers feel a lot better than PlayStation. Yeah. So whenever I'm forced to use a controller, I'd rather use that.
I was whipping out the Xbox One the other day, and I was thinking, man, I really miss the Xbox 360 controller, especially the light ring in the middle. I think it was way better placed. It belongs in the exact center from where your thumbs are, not at the very top. I mean, that's weird. And then they also had the LED ring that told you like which player you were.
Yeah, that was cool. I really liked that.
That was really cool.
It was super cool. And you could also just slip the battery pack out if you needed to restart the controller. I always love that.
Favorite part of that.
I wanted to, I'm sorry, go ahead real quick, Zidane. And then I actually want to bring it back to you and ask you why you're not excited for it.
I'm going to tell you, that's exactly, I know I'm a very niche market when I say this, but as a collector, I don't want it to go to games as a service. Like, I want physical copies, and when it does that, like, I feel like eventually physical is gonna disappear, and I really, really, really don't want that. So, no.
So here's something I would say to that. I mean, I absolutely agree.
You can still buy physical copies right now and still have the Game Pass, though. But what you're saying is you think eventually it won't be that way.
Yeah, I think physical will be gone. It'll be a thing of the past.
I kind of agree.
So maybe on console you can still buy a physical copy, but I don't think for PC games you can ever get a physical copy.
No.
Because I've bought a couple games where I wanted a physical copy because it was kind of like a sentimental or like significant game to me. And it was just a case with like a CD key inside of it. There wasn't even like a place where the disc would go. I bought 2 games like that. And it was super disappointing.
Have a CD key.
And this is something I thought of while we were talking about this earlier. If you think about it, all of these companies, Sony, Microsoft, all the game developers, really, they've always been software developers.
Yeah.
The only thing that's changing is the delivery mechanism. So there was a time where there was no way to get that game to you except to give you a console, like a computer that could run it.
Yep.
And then also give you the games afterwards. But now it's like, I mean, I have probably like 5 devices in my household that could run any game I want to. Like I've got my computer, a couple servers, a couple consoles, whatever.
Yep.
There's like not really a need to sell the kitchen sink with the gaming experience, you know?
It makes me sad.
But Zidane is more interested in that sentimental and collector aspect of it.
I can't have a wall of video games if I have to subscribe to a service.
You'll have this digital wall on Xbox Game Pass.
Speaking of which, since we're talking about Xbox Game Pass, I was looking it up, and they have 15 million subscribers. Do we know how much that is a month? If you're not getting it for free?
See, that is like, well, let's just do the simple like, I bought it for a year last time because I got the good deal, and then I got a year because of something with my Xbox. I got a really good deal. I don't remember, but the normal is like what, $10 a month, right?
I don't know. I feel like I've been paying $5 this whole time.
That's
so then it would be like 1.5 billion, right? Dollars. Yeah. Unless you do.
I'm gonna try to look it up right now.
But after 7 months, you've made up your money to Bethesda, right? So I mean, that kind of goes back to what I said. Like, this is definitely it's a good model for Xbox. It's smart. It's not as archaic as Sony, and it gives somebody like me a lot of more options. Well, all of us a lot more options. But I definitely understand where Zidane is coming from. And I mean, Zidane, who knows? Maybe they'll always keep like both. Because
I don't think they will. It's not a good business decision.
But you're still, if they don't subscribe to the monthly service, you're still paying full price for a game. So either way, I feel like they're making like the money line is coming together, I guess you could say.
All right, yeah, I get it.
So maybe, hopefully, they'll always keep both. In a perfect world, I would agree with you. Where what happens is, I get Xbox Game Pass. I can play it on my PC and have all these cool games. By the way, expect a bunch of new like Bethesda stuff on there and everything. But
yeah,
obviously,
for sure.
But I get to do that, and then also like the physical copies are there for those who want them. Like, should be both. In a perfect world, but we don't live in one of those.
I feel like when I have a game that's digital, which 90% of my games now are, where I don't just have like like going back to the PlayStation or something where I had a memory card, I cared more about like my saves and my games.
Oh yeah.
Now I just go ahead and uninstall a game and don't even think about it. Like, yeah, Steam backs it up or sometimes, or you can set it up too, but I feel like I care more about the experience than having the stuff. Like, I like that I have all my old stuff from Xbox and I can go back and look, but there hasn't really been many instances where I've played through a game on my computer and I'm like, yeah, I really need to like make sure that I have that character sitting there, or like all that gear I got on that character. Like, the only thing that's ever mattered is WoW, and I mean that's saved on someone else's server, so I don't have to worry about it.
Cameron, it kind of takes away like an aspect, like, because when you were younger and you played video games, like you had saves on your hard drive, on your memory card, and these things were a little more sacred than they are now, where I mean, it's on the cloud, it's out there, you uninstall it, you come back, it might still be there anyways, right? So like, it doesn't matter as much. It creates a disconnect, and it kind of makes you less interested in the game, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Because I think
I just think I'm just going back to it though. Like, WoW saves my stuff. If I would have beaten Baldur's Gate, and I'd want to go back and like look at that character and be like, look how cool I was. Or again, that's why whenever we did the Minecraft server, I kept telling Stan to back it up so I could have that save file, so I can eventually someday open that up and go back and look at it, and hopefully all my batteries in the memory cards save and stays and it looks good. And nostalgia. We talk about nostalgia a lot here.
Backups, by the way.
Nostalgia is one of the it's one of the main aspects of gaming, I would say, a lot of the time, for sure. So I'm not surprised that we talk about it a lot here. Sidebar real quick, by Larian Studios, Baldur's Gate 3 there's a what is it, what do they call it these days, early release on the 30th.
Alpha.
That would be really fun if we could get that going. Like I don't want to get into that right now, but I just wanted you reminded me, obviously, with Baldur's Gate.
Sign me up.
Dark Alliance.
Yeah, I'd check it out.
It should be. It looks really, really good. Also, there is a voting mechanic with communication, so everyone in the party kind of gets their shot at like dialogue scenes.
If
which
it's
I think
going
is
to
really
Cam, I'm
cool.
always saying no.
Larian. Well, the good thing is, Zidane, me, you, and Stan, we can outvote Cam, and his option will never be accepted.
Can we vote him? Can we vote him off the island?
I'm sure we could kill him. Yeah. So, anyway, so what I'm getting is that the general consensus is don't really care about the Xbox new series. Kind of split on Game Pass. Yeah. Is that kind of where we're at with Game Pass? I like say.
Game Pass.
Me too.
It's
cheap.
It's
Stan,
good.
what is your opinion? I feel like you don't like it. I feel like your opinion is you're not a fan.
No, I mean, it really does make sense. It just does make a lot of sense. There's no reason to keep selling people an entire console just so they can play your games. It makes a lot more sense just to utilize the new delivery mechanisms that we have here in 2020. But it is also really sad to see all that stuff go. Like, I miss the whole, like, you had to restart the game every time you got a new console or went to your buddies kind of gaming, or like, you have your console from childhood that still has all your saves on it. I do kind of miss that, but I think that's just going to be one of like the artifacts of old school gaming.
I think Microsoft will eventually become the first company to voluntarily withdraw from like the console race without going bankrupt.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll ever have another?
That's actually a pretty good take. I agree with that. Yeah. Sorry, what'd you say, Cam?
No, I totally agree with what Zidane said too. But do you think there'll ever be just like another company that tries to jump in on the console race, like Steam tried to do the Steam box thing?
Oh man,
Steam has enough money to do anything. They'll try it all, but that definitely failed.
So
they usually do business stuff pretty well too. Sorry, go ahead, Stan.
Well, I was gonna say that is interesting to think of. This generation could be the last generation of Xboxes. I feel like that's kind of what we're on the cusp of, and like
very close.
Is there going to be something? I mean, that's a topic of itself, but also on the rest of that discussion, is there going to be something new after this? Like if Microsoft and Sony step out and someone comes in and tries to revolutionize the gaming platform again, what would that look like? My bet is on, I really want like a universal game streaming platform across the internet. So like an open protocol where you just buy like any kind of device or run the client on any kind of device, and you have the choice between like multiple different providers.
Like the Linux of gaming?
Yeah, basically. Or like, how like your smart TV, you can get on Netflix, Hulu, all that. That's kind of about where I'm all right with like the whole subscriptions and have a service thing. Like let's stop after a few. But that would be cool to buy like, I buy an Android TV, I can stream Netflix, Hulu, whatever, all that. Maybe in 10 years I buy a desktop
and you get them all together,
and I set it on my desk and I stream games from Stadia and Xbox Game Pass and Sony PlayStation Network exclusive, whatever streaming service they come up with.
I feel like that's definitely a possibility.
I feel like that's where it's going to have to go.
That would be super cool.
Makes
that
me
would
sad.
be, but then like, so imagine, I mean, just to play like thought experiments with this. Imagine when we get to the point where like there's never any reason for anybody to sell any kind of like specific hardware. Like there's no reason for you to have a phone and a laptop and a computer and a smart TV. Like you'll just get one thing and like everything as a service. So like
They
your
sell you,
your personal computer is like Microsoft Windows as a service, and then you have Office 365, and then you have Netflix and Amazon Prime, and then you have Azure AD and like PlayStation Network and Game Pass. I mean, where does it end? Nobody really wants to get that, but that's kind of where we're going. It's just like that's where things have to be to keep up with the pace that we're at.
I'm sure there's people out there who spend over $100 a month on subscriptions.
easily.
Oh yeah. Did you guys notice this whole time we were go ahead, Zaideen.
I don't remember what I was gonna say. It flew away.
Did you guys notice the whole time we were talking about this, we never brought up Nintendo? I wonder if that's because we
They
kind of
just do their own thing, man. They don't
I know,
fucking
right?
care.
They are their own.
And it's so good. It's so good.
I heard that they're
Even up to now, they are one of the. They're pretty much the only person. They're the only player in the console race that actually ships games on a physical medium.
Yeah.
Because like when you get a game cartridge, like I feel confident that in 20 years, if I turn my 3DS on and slide one of the cartridges in, it'll probably work.
For sure.
If I turn on my Xbox One in
I can
15
go
years,
set up my Super Nintendo.
it's just
right
not
now.
even going to
It's
turn
solid.
on. Yeah,
It's definitely a possibility it won't turn on.
it just won't turn on. It'll be like that time Sonos just like shut off a whole generation of their products. It's like, sorry, Sonos is actually a service.
Zaideen made me forget too.
It flew. I was waiting for it. You went and
Get
just
it out.
I had
flew
something to
away.
say that was very relevant. Now
Hey,
Shit.
if you think of it again, just go ahead and blurt it
I'll
out.
raise
whenever.
my hand.
But
Pisses me off when that happens.
So we got off on Game Pass, and that is one thing I wanted to talk about. But I do want to bring it back real quick to this recent transaction with Microsoft and Bethesda. And before I go on about it, I just want to know like what you guys think. Yeah, I think.
I was just gonna. So, Microsoft bought ZeniMax actually,
Yeah.
which was the parent company of Bethesda, and
Right. So that's the umbrella, huh?
Yeah.
That's the,
so it's like ZeniMax, and there's ID software in there. There's Bethesda. There's all these other Alpha Dog games. Like, what the hell is that? But anyway, it's crazy the amount of money that they paid for that. And Doom is now Microsoft, and that's weird to me. Really weird.
Yeah,
Is Doom gonna pop into Master Chief's universe and they're gonna take out some Covenant together? Is that what's gonna happen?
Oh, that'd be some weird lore.
so I think I thought of something clever to say.
Okay.
I think this is good for the gaming community in the same way that the occasional forest fire is good for the forest. Like I think this is going to bring about a whole bunch of sucky nonsense, but I also think that it's going to bring us a little bit closer to an actual like transition into whatever the next step of gaming is. So if that's some kind of gaming as a service thing, I really hope this is a major step in the transition to something that isn't like 4 different hardware appliances with a whole bunch of different like software subscriptions to go with them. I think
I'm
we're
really
all
happy
gonna
with
go content delivery, streaming services, yada yada.
Right. So like I've already said, like I'm really happy with this step, but if it devolves, kind of what you're saying, Stan, if it devolves into something less enjoyable, which it very likely could, then I'll be upset about it. But as this first step, I like I said, I don't mind it as much. So hopefully it kind of stays that way and doesn't snowball, but
Fingers crossed.
in reality it probably will.
It would be nice to like what if we just kind of split? Like what if we just created like 2 different sets of gaming markets? Like there's the Nintendo type games where it's actually like I feel like Nintendo is kind of justified in creating their own like consoles because they really do something unique that really changes the gameplay every time.
Every
You
time.
can have games like that, which are geared more towards like offline, remote, stable gaming, and then you could also have like gaming as a service for things that are always rapidly changing, like Call of Duty. I can't think of another example. Call of Duty that changes.
I got you though. I definitely understand what you're saying. And so, like I said, I did want to bring it back though. And Cameron, I guess I'm curious on your opinion of this because I don't think I've heard your opinion too much on it. Like with Bethesda buying or Microsoft buying Bethesda or sorry ZeniMax.
ZeniMax.
But Bethesda is the hot word. That's what you say
Yes.
to get everyone.
Yeah.
ZeniMax I know best for obviously Elder Scrolls Online. But anyways, what do you think about that whole thing?
Well, I remember what I was going to say earlier.
That's good.
Nintendo tried to do the online thing, and I heard it's shit. Like $10 a month, maybe I don't know, but they don't support much, or it's $5. Okay, that's not expensive, but it still sucks. Basically, they're saying it should be free.
Nintendo gamers feel like it's necessary, though, right? So they don't care as much.
I don't know. I think that they just rather have
that's what
shitty free than shitty paid. But
Always.
the ZeniMax thing. So the way I look at it is, I'm gonna just focus mainly on Bethesda because that's what I'm most familiar with here. And I've talked about a lot of Bethesda games on here.
Obsidian.
So all the stuff was going downhill hard. 4, we all agree that 4 sucks. Like
Fallout 4.
Like I said, I've got a different opinion a little bit, but 4, not a very good game.
Yeah.
Not a good Fallout game.
It's Garbo.
And then 76 came out, and that was terrible.
Just when you thought you couldn't make it any worse, you did.
Exactly. And I feel like they did one other thing. Like, I know that during the 76 talk, time, they did all the crazy, we're gonna, well, that was
microtransactions.
Microtransaction the shit out of you. I just, not cool. So I think maybe it's a good.
Go ahead.
Maybe it's a good thing that they got purchased, and Microsoft's gonna really try to push into this console race thing. Maybe where it's going the other side of what we all just said, and maybe they are gonna try to compete with PlayStation and make Doom and the Elder Scrolls games exclusives. Wouldn't that be insane? That would be a whole nother side of it, because if Sony keeps trying to be like, hey, we're not going to give you Spider-Man, we're not going to give you Infamous, they've got God of War, that's what I really want to play, Last of Us, then screw it, we're not going to give you Doom, you're not going to get no more Elder Scrolls, nothing like that. So
drawing lines in the sand again.
Exactly. Yeah. It'd be interesting because it could be the other way around, but I hope that if they do that, they just put it onto computer as well, because
they for sure will. They for sure will.
Yeah.
So I'm actually really. Go ahead, Tim.
I was going to say there's never really been a good reason Microsoft doesn't put Xbox games on Windows, because it all runs on DirectX anyway, if I understand it all correctly. Even since the very first Xbox ran NT kernel, basically had the same kernel as Windows XP or whatever. If I understand that correctly, but yeah, I know there's at least a little bit of truth in that, and I know it was based off of the x86 and the DirectX platforms. So it just makes sense, especially like I said, I think they went out of the console race.
So
we all said, they went out of the console race and they just want to go sell games as a service.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and that's kind of the bottom line, or at least that was my bottom line with this whole transaction. But Cameron, one thing that you brought up is the exclusive thing. So you think, or maybe you were just, kind of thinking out loud that, they're going to draw a line in the sand, Microsoft is, and Bethesda stuff is going to stay on that side. Personally, I don't know if I believe that, because even if they put it on PlayStation, say they put Fallout 5 on PlayStation, right? PlayStation guy buys that. That money goes to Xbox, Microsoft.
So majority of it.
So I don't think that they will. I don't think it'll cause an exclusive thing. I really don't.
Man, I hope not.
Because of that reason.
Yeah, when you make it exclusive like that, you're losing out on money.
For sure. Yeah, exactly. So why would you ever want to do that? And it seems like because of the Game Pass and migrating to PC, that all these companies, kind of what we've already said, all they're trying to do is get more gamers interested in their product, right? A wider range, as opposed to just Xbox, PlayStation, PC, whatever. So I definitely don't think it'll go that route, but I would be surprised if it does. That would be really interesting. And then it's kind of like a console war again. That's kind of lame to say out loud, but
it's true though.
So that actually reminded me of something really specific that I read on this topic before we had this episode. So I'm going to quote something from an article on The Verge. They wrote,
The Verge
on the topic of platform exclusives after this deal. They say keeping the next Fallout or Elder Scrolls game off the PS5 is not a savvy business move, but making sure those games are on Game Pass is. Microsoft has shown it does not necessarily care where you play their games for the most part, rather ensuring that a major new release is available for free on Game Pass the day it comes out with no extra cost to Microsoft for having to secure a pricey revenue sharing deal or pony up for limited access is the goal. So
makes sense.
If they really want to pursue games as a service, and if that opinion is worth anything, I think it's in their best interest to keep the games open. Just get them on a service. So maybe here's something kind of out of left field. What if Microsoft tries to strike up a deal with Sony where Microsoft's games are only available on like a Sony subscription-based service that Microsoft gets a cut from?
Oh boy.
Sony they're too hard-headed. They would never, dude. They'd rather die, I feel like. I really believe that. I feel like they would rather fucking die than make a deal like that.
Well, here's the thing. Do you think Microsoft could bully them into it? Because Microsoft is about to gobble up literally like the rest of the gaming market.
Yeah, I was going to say they have so much money.
With Xbox Game Pass, what they're doing is they're pulling their oh shit handle and they're merging PC gaming and Xbox gaming into one thing. I think just to stay afloat because nobody wants to buy Xboxes anymore. So if they do that and the Xbox Game Pass becomes even more popular and it's like a primary source of games even for PC gamers, that's a lot of market share that Microsoft gains there.
A shit ton.
Yeah. So I mean, that gives them a big old hammer to swing around.
I like
Sony.
I like the oh shit handle.
A big old dick to swing around.
Yeah.
See, I don't see it as an oh shit handle. I see it as a solid kind of aggressive business move.
Then why didn't they do it in 2000?
I liked a lot. What do you mean?
Why didn't they do it in 2000? Why have we ever had consoles then?
I guess I don't understand what you're saying.
Do we have the infrastructure then to support that?
Well, I guess that's
what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Is like
I guess
we wouldn't have the ability to do that. It wasn't even a thing.
Microsoft always had the ability to do that in the same sense that they had the ability to get like Windows itself to you. I mean, so I guess Sony was never really in that position, but Microsoft, I mean, Halo Combat Evolved was pretty easy to port to PC. It only took another year or whatever. They could have, I feel like Microsoft could have always been pursuing this like cross-platform thing. Because I mean, an Xbox and a Windows machine basically run the same operating system. So to me, it makes a lot of sense the whole time to just pursue that.
But if you were to do it way back in 2000, that would be different because like in the last 10 years, people have really embraced having a lot of subscriptions. And this is not just in gaming, but in their life, right? So Spotify, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, fucking, the list can go on and on. Right?
It adds up to a traditional cable bill.
The more that, true, but the more society, I think Microsoft was just watching society kind of go in that direction. And then they were like, yeah, no, this is a good time to do it. Like back then, if they had did it and they were kind of like the only one, like Netflix wasn't even a thing, people would have been like, nah. unless they did something unless they executed it really well. So I just see of it as Microsoft kind of moving with the times almost.
I agree with that on the terms of like the subscription idea, but I think like the pulling the oh shit handle is the act of giving up their Xbox exclusives and porting them to PC pretty much on day one is what they're doing now. Because there's no way a subscription based service would have worked in 2001.
Absolutely not.
Microsoft always could have doubled down on the gaming market. They could have always made their games cross-platform and available for PC pretty easily, even if it was like a 1 year off release schedule. So I think the fact that they're doing that now shows a little bit that they're like, all right, something's got to change here.
For sure. I kind of see where you're coming from, Stan. I do. But so one of my final takeaways from this whole thing with the Bethesda Microsoft thing, something that I was kind of excited for, is that somebody on Twitter asked Obsidian if, because of all this, maybe there's like a chance for a Fallout New Vegas 2 or a game very much like that. And they replied with the shrug, like that emote. So hey man, that kind of got me excited. Maybe Microsoft will kind of come in and be like, hey, ZeniMax, Bethesda, fuck off Obsidian a little bit. Let them do their business. Let them make us some money and make us another goddamn Fallout New Vegas game. And that is something that I'll always be on board with. So maybe that's kind of like a little silver lining from this whole thing.
New Vegas
I will
2.
say something about that. So on the topic of, I don't want Microsoft to go up to Bethesda and say like, hey, drop what you're doing and work on that, because I think they're working on a totally new thing. I remember
like a brand new IP?
Yeah. So a while ago, I remember reading something online speculating that the next Elder Scrolls game was actually going to be a new series, and that the merger was going to be that like Elder Scrolls, Fallout, and this new game all happened in the same cinematic universe. So there's like
what?
Yeah, there was like Elder Scrolls was Elder Scrolls is like ancient times, like prehistoric times with real magic. And then there's Fallout, which is like modern times to us. And then this one would be far in the future and it'd be like a space thing. I remember hearing a lot of buzz about that as being the next like actual big thing. So
that's extremely interesting.
How do we know Bethesda isn't doing that or something, even if it's not that crazy thing?
Yeah, when I said that though with Microsoft, I didn't really mean that. More so what I meant was, so Obsidian had kind of gotten the short end of the stick with ZeniMax and Bethesda over the years with making games and stuff. And I think the company actually had a lot of resentment because so many people regarded Fallout New Vegas as the best of the bunch. So
for sure,
more so what I meant is hopefully maybe Microsoft would come in there and be like, hey guys, let's get our shit together and just make games. Everyone calm down here and let's all get them all out at a good time, instead of like just giving Obsidian more creative freedom, not bringing Bethesda down. That's more so that was the bottom line of what I was talking about. Okay. But yeah, I really hope that I agree with you. I really hope that Microsoft doesn't just bludgeon these companies. Honestly though, not that they've helped themselves too much. Like those companies are pretty fucking shit right now.
I was gonna say the only bludgeoning that needs to be done is to Bethesda so they finish a game.
Yeah.
Man, 76. That was a flop.
That was a big yikes. Yeah, so are we good?
We're good.
I'm good.
Good. So I was really excited to talk about that with you guys because like everyone, like I said, everyone and their mother was pretty much talking about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the past week. It's like you can go outside without talking about that. So I was really glad to get your opinions, your hot takes on that. So anyways, now we're going to transition a little bit to something that Zidane brought up. And it was something that I thought was a really, really good idea. And that is gaming trailers. We'll make some good, we'll make some bad, and everything in between. So I'm going to let you rip on this for a sec, Zidane. because it is something you were pretty passionate about. Like I said, these conversations were even bleeding over before we even started recording. So I had to like stop everyone and just make sure we wait until we were recording. So I'm going to let you rip on this for a second and kind of where your headspace was with this whole thing. I can hear you guys. I'll be right back.
Release trailers are kind of an art form in their own way. I traditionally like the trailers that are live action. Primarily the one that came out to me the most was Halo 3's ODST. It's entirely in Welsh, and like it's the story of this kid who watched his brother die, and then he joins ODST, and you follow him through boot camp. And he meets his first enemy, and then at the end of the trailer, he's this old man who's battle hardened and his scars, and it ends with "We are ODST," and I was just like, "Fuck yes!" And I've never even played the game, but I've watched the trailer several times, and I'm just like, that is fucking awesome.
That says a lot about it. If you've never even played the game yet, you really appreciate that trailer.
Mm-hmm. And
Gave me chills.
And another one, it wasn't live action, but I don't even know the full title, but Senua's Sacrifice 2. It was a release trailer, I think, last year or the year before in E3. And it's just, they're all like singing this haka and they're like hyping it up, and it was really, really cool.
This what?
Haka? You know, I don't really know how to explain it if you don't know what a haka is. It's like a...
I'm curious.
I can't.
And I would assume a lot of people, like, if anyone watches, they wouldn't know either. So how do you spell it?
I think it's Hakka. I don't know.
I'll be back, guys.
It's like this... Hey, I can't
Is it like
explain
Chinese or what?
No.
Okay, well, I got like Hakka noodles. Yeah, I didn't want to sound like I'm being racist. Like, that's literally what popped up.
Hakka noodles? Yeah, I have no idea what that is. And I recently just watched the Mass Effect 3 trailer.
Oh,
and
like, the one where is it the one where it's live action? Well, it's not even live action. It just looks really fucking good.
It's extended.
It's Shepard and Ashley like running. They're on Earth, right? And there's like husks and shit, and they're like killing them. It's that one.
It starts off with this little girl playing with the spaceship, and then the spaceship turns into the spaceship flying over the city, and they're Ravagers, right? That's the.
What do they look like? Are they human?
What was Sovereign? What was that? That big
Sovereign
thing?
is a Reaper.
Reaper, okay. And then the Reapers come down and shoot down the ships, and everything goes to shit. And then it goes back to that little girl that was playing in the cornfield with her spaceship, and it pans out, and there's a Reaper behind her, and you're just like, oh shit.
Doesn't it make the noise too?
Yes, it does.
Oh yeah, it's so good, dude.
And then it cuts forward, and Ashley and Shepard get out, and they pick up the doll she was playing with. Go ahead.
Right. They start like fighting.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember how it ends though, because I remember Shepard and Ashley fighting, and then because it's been a while, and then what? How does it end?
I don't remember, even though it was like 5 minutes ago. I don't remember.
So no one can see this, but I have my Mass Effect 2 little template thing right here. It's very pretty. Can't see it. My mic covers it. I'm gonna need a different spot. Doesn't matter anyways, but I'm super excited about it. And it was super relevant.
Super relevant.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's some
definitely
other good ones.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you a question real quick, Zidane, because I really want to ask you something about this. Is that like, why are the trailers so good to you? What is the main thing that you're just like, you know what? That's what I really fucking. That's what kind of speaks to me about this one. I really like it. Like, what is it about these certain ones that's so good to you?
Usually, honestly, it's the music. Like, if the music's not good in the trailer, like you might as well just throw the trailer away and start
That's what you
over.
said about games last week.
Like the music is so important in like everything. Like if let's think of the Gears trailer with Mad World.
Dude,
If that
that
song
is
wasn't
so
Mad World, like how would that trailer have been? It would have been horrible. You would not want to play that game.
It wouldn't have been horrible because I'm a Gears fanboy. The cinematography is really good.
It is.
But and the kind of like the atmosphere, especially because at that point nobody knew anything about Gears of War, right?
Right.
So the fact that they made that trailer fucking blew everyone's mind because they were like dark world, big monsters, big spider corpser type thing, guy with a chainsaw gun running around. Like there were a lot of elements that made it very enticing. But you're 100% right, is that Mad World is just like Danny Darko is just like the cherry on top of that whole thing that just makes it a masterpiece.
And Halo.
Master Chief.
Speaking of Master Chief, Halo 3, with the trailer, and there was probably more than one, but the one that stuck in my head is the diorama, and it like
the
brutes.
The brutes.
And so the brutes and like
I can't say words.
It's like a still motion of like a brute chieftain holding Chief in the air, and he has like a single plasma grenade in his hand, and like time slowly starts to unfreeze, and like he's lighting the grenade. And he's gonna fight his way out.
It flashes something before
Join
it
the
ends.
fight. Something 2007.
Yeah, and I was just like, that is awesome. And I don't think there was any music in that either. I don't remember.
There was. I don't think that there was either. But the whole Halo 3 advertising campaign that they did, I would say was like a massive success. And in hindsight, when I think about that and Gears and all these other ones, it's like they were an ODST and that other one you just said, Zidane, which I'm sorry I forgot, but like a Mass Effect is like back then they seemed to be kind of like firing on all cylinders with their advertising. Like it was really an important aspect of it, and they were performing at a high level. Like every single trailer was fucking amazing, breathtaking.
You want to know who can make a good trailer?
Who?
Blizzard.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah.
Their whole fucking campaign, like. I'm convinced that company is so popular because they're so good at advertising.
Okay, but wait a second. I think that Blizzard's trailers for like new WoW expansions have not been good, but like their expansion, like opening cinematics are phenomenal.
Always so good.
Which they release as almost like a trailer. So I'm pretty sure they release them before the games come out.
I was gonna say, and if you look on TV before like expansions come out, you'll see clippets of trailers in those as well. But even their other forms of advertising are really good. Like I remember when before Battle for Azeroth came out, they had a trailer of. So this guy it's real world. This guy is standing at a bus stop or whatever. He sees he's got an Alliance hoodie on or something like that, and he sees like this really cute girl, and he starts to go up to like talk.
Got no chance.
And then she. Right, but she's got a Horde hoodie on.
Oh,
so
shit!
He just turns away and he's like, "Nah, I'm done." So
fam,
just
I'm
like
good.
They've got a bunch, not only the stuff that their artists render, but also just like their advertising company in general is just amazing. Like really good. Their new Overwatch trailer, like Overwatch 2.
I was gonna bring that up.
Fucking movie material, man.
Like I don't even like Overwatch, and that release trailer made me want to play Overwatch 2 because it was just badass. Music was good.
The entire reason I bought Overwatch, the first one, was the very first trailer they announced 2014, 2015, whatever. And it's the one where Tracer fights Widowmaker and Reaper. And my favorite part is at the end when she's talking to the two little kids. And it's super fucking cheesy, but whatever, man. I like it. She's like, the world could always use more heroes, and then she like darts off, and it's just so cute and wholesome, and like they just give the kids like the Doomfist gauntlet to signify like they're gonna be a hero, and then it stops. Like it's really good storytelling, and it's just I think Blizzard, the other thing is like they're super cute with it a lot of the time. So it really gets people emotional.
Yep.
Not like always sad, but just they get the emotions flowing. So they do a really good job with that.
I agree.
Otherwise, I might have never sunk 2,000 hours into Overwatch if that trailer hadn't existed. So, yeah,
Holy
trailers.
shit!
Wait, what?
Really?
Oh yeah, probably. That's just like a rough estimate. It might be more, might be less, but around there.
I like it.
Hey man, gotta go big dick. So I got a question for you, Cameron, because I know that you are not a big trailer guy, whether it comes to movies or games. First of all, why is that?
Well, specifically with movies, their trailers are terrible. I mean, you have an hour and a half to 2.5 hours of content. I don't want to see 2 minutes of it. I'm seeing, 1% of your whole movie in your trailer, and then they have to include the interesting parts too. Obviously, not the full run of a movie is going to be all interesting shit. You're not going to show the uninteresting shit in a trailer. And then, the video game side is you're going to try to show off stuff to get you involved. So like the trailers we talked about, like the Gears trailer, that Halo like diorama thing, like that is awesome, but that's not showing gameplay. So stuff that like spoils the in-game stuff really just kills me. But then I also don't like to get hyped about it.
I was gonna say, do you not like the hype train?
Yeah, so like I haven't watched I might have seen a trailer, but I don't follow like 2077. Like I'm excited. I've heard people like talk about it, but I kind of just, I don't want to hear. Don't get me hyped about it. I don't want to sit here and hear about a game 4 years before it's released, and then have to sit there and just worry about, all right, well, how long until this comes out? And I don't know. I hate the hype.
That sounds exhausting, doesn't it? Those people who get really excited for a game like a decade before it's even fucking like released and shit.
Yeah.
Like you see all these people talking about like someone was talking about what is that? Blue Protocol, which is like a really cool like Eastern MMO that's coming out. People were hyped about that game. It's still not going to come out for like a year or two in the West. And people were hyped about that game like 5 years ago. It's like,
why?
That's exhausting, man. Like, why would I get so hyped?
Could you imagine if when did Skyrim release?
2011, 11.
2011, 11. Can you imagine days before 2011, 11?
That's a long time from now.
Yeah. Like, imagine people getting hyped for Skyrim 5 years in advance of it. Like,
2006.
It doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't.
As soon
it
as
really doesn't. At that point, the
were...
Xbox 360 hasn't even been released.
And then they finally get Skyrim, and they're like, this kind of stinks.
Yeah. I feel like Cyberpunk whatever has already outlived
2077.
Yeah, I feel like it's already outlived a generation of Xboxes, because wasn't it like kind of hyped even when Xbox One was new?
I believe so.
Yeah. How many people here have played The Witcher 3? Like a lot of it.
A majority. I've almost beaten it, so
I finished the main quest.
Zidane is a fucking weirdo, man. He quit Witcher 3 at like 93%. Like, I was talking to him about the game once, and he's like, yeah, I stopped playing like pretty much like right after the battle at Kaer Morhen. And I'm like,
you're right at the end, dude. Why didn't you finish it? Because I knew something bad was gonna happen, and I didn't want to see any characters die.
I mean, in that case, it was a good call, but if anyone, I think part of the reason people are so hyped for Cyberpunk is because Witcher 3 was a fucking really, really, really good game. The only thing I ever diss on that game about is the combat. Everything else, like characters, story, world, like...
Yeah, Triss Marigold.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have bad taste in waifus. That's fine by me. Whatever. You like some trashy orange-haired chicks? That's your prerogative, pal. But my point is that like everyone, like everything about that game was a huge success. So people are thinking that will translate into this new Cyberpunk 2077 game. and I don't see any reason why it won't.
It better, or they're gonna be a struggling video game company.
Yeah,
I mean, do you guys honestly think that's gonna happen though?
No, but there's always that possibility.
5 years of hype comes with a lot of fucking debt attached to it. Like a lot. There's a lot of high expectations.
That's my point, saying you got to play Witcher 3 and see like where the company kind of comes from. And yeah, I guess you could say to counteract my own point, Bethesda made Oblivion, and I think they're a shit company now. You know, I don't really like Blizzard that much either, and I consider them one of the best. So a company can fall off, but I just don't see that same pattern with Cyberpunk or Larian or companies like that yet. So,
I mean, I know we keep trashing on 76, but I mean, didn't everyone think that Fallout 76 and even Fallout 4 were going to be these awesome games?
I don't think anyone really thought 76 was going to be good, did they?
No?
Yeah, nobody, because it was like
I hyped for it at the beginning, and then I started figuring out more about it, and I was like, I'm good.
I feel like the initial response was like, holy shit, a new Fallout game already? Okay, cool.
All right.
Oh wait,
it sucks.
What? It's what?
Almost heaven.
But see that there's
West Virginia.
There's like an example of a video game company that's very successful with their past releases, and they fuck up one thing, and then everyone's like, fuck Bethesda.
But they didn't fuck up one thing.
Yeah, I don't think that they just fucked up that one thing, though, Zidane. They
fucked up 76 in a hole.
They fucked up one game.
That was like a massive fuck up, and it was so big. I feel like that was the icing on the cake for a lot of people. They're like, dude, I'm fucking done because this is such a big fuck up. Yeah. But I think that people were upset. I mean, I've thought they've been downhill since the release of Skyrim. Like, I don't think Skyrim, like, I think ever since then, like Skyrim, Elder Scrolls Online, Fallout 4, and 76 are like the big titles, right? And all of them have been a disappointment to me, pretty much. So,
I think that they're all like, they fucked up a lot because even their good stuff still has a lot of bugs in it. Like, they're known to have buggy shit. So, like, that's always been an issue. And then they did the paid mod things in 4.
Have you not seen the Oblivion memes of all the bugs?
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds.
Have you seen Bacon _ like the YouTuber?
I think so.
Shout out.
I'm the one that shouts out YouTubers.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
But he does a bunch of like short clips on bugs and stupid dialogue stuff in Oblivion. It's fucking hilarious. But anyways, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then they had a bunch of stupid ass terrible monetization in 76. They were like, here, spend $100 and you'll, I don't even remember, bunch of nonsense.
I don't know. It
it was their time to go. It was their time to go. They had their run.
Yeah.
And now it's over.
Now they belong to Microsoft.
I wonder if this is going to be the next Bungie to 343 Industries transition.
But do you think that 343 is good compared to Bungie?
I think it's different. I think they're definitely taking the game a different direction than Bungie would have. And that's why Bungie's gone.
Dog shit.
See,
there's his opinion.
Different enough that like we can't agree. It is different at the very least.
They added sprint. Get it out of here.
I don't think that's an accurate way to put that. Is
Get it out.
It's different, so we disagree. Like, I think just the design choices overall are just not good.
Halo 5 armor was so ugly. Have you seen it?
Halo 4 didn't look good. Yeah, no.
Oh, yeah, Halo 4 armor looked ugly too, but Halo 5 is just a whole nother level.
You're talking about the Spartans, right?
Yeah.
The other ones, like Locke and shit.
I'm just saying Halo customization went downhill hard. Like, all the things are like very, whatever the newest race that aren't the Flood or Covenant, like influenced, I feel like, looking.
Yeah, no, that company stinks. They don't know what to do with Halo.
And I also don't like the other one they make, Destiny. I think Destiny is not fun.
Bungie fell off since they moved away too. That is another real thing that happened. A lot of people still don't talk about.
Destiny is a pretty popular.
I see the good stuff about Destiny, but I think so that that kind of goes back to what we were saying about hype. Hype can be a killer because when Destiny 1 was coming out, dude, the whole world was ready because it was the makers of Halo. And then it came out and it underperformed because it wasn't like it was just a good shooter with a really like decent, like not even decent, really bad story, characters, all those sort of things. Like the only thing it had, the only good thing it had, even the loot was bugged and like not like fully satisfying all the time. So the only thing that people really enjoyed, especially at launch, was the gunplay. So people were really disappointed. And Bungie is kind of, like I said, some people don't talk about it, but Bungie has fallen off just as much since they left, in my opinion.
I should say I did not like Destiny. I really enjoyed the first one, but I only did Crucible or whatever the PvP thing was. Like I played the campaign long enough to get like some weapons because everything scaled. So I had like a shotgun and assault rifle and sniper rifle, whatever I wanted to mix it up with. And then I went all the way to like I think 30. Level 30 was the base. Like you get 20, and then you had to get better armor to get to 30.
And then light level, which was like an eye level equivalent, like in WoW.
Yeah, so I think you hit 20, and then with light level you could hit 30. So I got all the way to like 27 or something, just through PvP. Like I never did any. I never beat the moon, and I was level 27. So I really enjoyed it a lot. Obviously, I almost maxed it out, but I played it purely as a PvP game. Like no story.
My experience of Destiny was so at the time one of my friends lived with me, was Jordan, and we set up our Xboxes together with like setups and everything, and we played through Destiny 1 together, like the whole storyline and everything, and it was super fucking fun. But the only thing that really made it fun was the fact that I had somebody to enjoy it with. I had done the same thing in Destiny 2, and I couldn't really get through because it was a lot of the same thing. But to me, when you say you mostly just like the PvP, Cameron, that kind of makes my point where you're basically saying you only like the gunplay more than anything else. The rest,
I was agreeing with you.
Yeah, exactly. It's like kind of lackluster.
But any game's gonna be more fun. Anything's more fun with
friends,
somebody else. Yeah,
for sure.
Talk about Sea of Thieves has no actual content, but if you're playing it with friends, it's a super fun game.
Because you just be stupid the whole time.
Yeah,
isn't that all games these days?
Yeah, it is. It's really just fucking off with your friends.
Zaydeen, do you remember that video I showed you of Sea of Thieves with the guy's like, Captain, and the captain like somebody's like, yeah. He's like, look, and there's a huge ship like coming to loot. There's another group of players like coming to loot these guys. Yep. And it's so funny because the game has proximity chat, so when they get close, the captain's like, he's like, take it easy, and the guy is on the other ship's like, fuck you.
That would be me on the other ship.
Why are we playing this game?
We definitely should. We'd make, because the game itself is dog shit, but we could make a lot of fun with it for sure.
Let's play series. Catch us on YouTube.
I mean, it's on the Game Pass, so back to that. But
were you gonna say something, Stan?
Yeah, I was gonna say I remember seeing a clip kind of like that. I don't remember what it was from, but I know it was from Sea of Thieves. They were like, it was just two guys steering like a small boat, and they were like, all right, everything's fine, and then like I guess like the monster encounter music started playing or something.
Music,
I was like, why is there music playing? And they just get fucking wrecked.
Why do I hear boss music?
Yeah.
They're freaking out looking around. Yeah, I remember that one. It was a good one.
While we're on the topic of like kind of these video game companies, what's your guys' opinion? We kind of already touched on like their cinematic and advertising and how they're so good, but I wanted to know what your guys' opinion on Blizzard is.
I like them.
They can only make trailers.
I mean, I feel like Classic was good.
See, but that's just an old game, so maybe I liked how they used to be. Because I really I liked WoW up until Cataclysm. I don't know.
Everyone says Cataclysm is when it fell off.
Yeah.
Mists of Pandaria was good.
So I liked WoW a lot. I think the StarCraft's really cool. I think the Warcraft's really cool, and obviously Overwatch is good. But those games, I think they make very well polished games. Is the best way to put it. Like high quality, but
Yep.
Yeah, the new stuff that they do is not very cool. Like the
That's
new
probably
Diablos
the
aren't
best
good.
compliment you can give them. Everything else kind of falls to the wayside. Like quality in their games is probably the best compliment. Do you know what I mean? Like that's the best thing you could say about them at this point, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree. Their quality is top notch, but like the only games I played a little bit of retail and a little bit of classic, and you know, you obviously know how I feel about MMOs. We won't get into that.
It's a job.
It is. And Overwatch is good when I'm playing with you guys.
Hell yeah.
It's not something that I want to queue up solo and go do, because I don't want to listen to the toxic fucking 13-year-old talking shit.
You can leave voice chat.
But I
Or
say it's toxic, but it's definitely more fun to have it on.
What's even more fun is just being mean to little kids.
But
you know what? Honestly, though, what I would say, most of the time I feel like, and I played a lot of ranked Overwatch, is most of the time it's not little kids. It's like these grown ass men who are just man children who are upset because they stink at the game.
But yeah, besides Overwatch and like, that's really all I can say about Blizzard. I don't think I've ever played an actual like the RTS Warcraft, like any of them. I played StarCraft 2. No, wait, the first one, I think. But I never played
You probably have.
I don't think I never played second. So
tell me what you think about. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Cam?
Who? Me?
Yeah, you were gonna say something.
Sorry, I just had a weird anecdote. When I was really young, when StarCraft, the first one was out, my brother borrowed it from one of his friends, and it didn't have like the code in it. So like when you put it in, that was the DRM. It was that you had to enter the code from the disc.
Yep.
I spent like 3 hours. You know, little kid motivation is insane.
It is.
I sat there 3 hours typing in random 25-digit codes.
Did you get one?
Fucking did it. I did it. I got through. Yeah, twice. I did it again another time.
You did it twice. Yeah, I'm with Stan, dude. I don't believe
I did it, dude. I'll bring my brother on stream.
You said it was how long? How long was the number?
25, right?
I'm pretty sure it was 25 digits. I mean, I would have been like fucking 10 years old.
Think about the statistics, like letters and numbers, right?
That's a lot.
Okay, but the thing is, you only have to guess one. You didn't have to guess your specific CD.
How do you mean?
I think that any code would have worked. That was a StarCraft code.
For sure, it does.
So it's not like I guessed one specific number.
Still.
Dude,
I had a friend who did that with Half-Life on the computer.
Little
100%.
child motivation is insane.
I watched him do it.
See,
can we take a moment of silence for the guy who bought that code?
Well, I mean,
I don't know. It's old enough that it probably didn't matter.
For it.
Yeah, as I say, it's too old for that.
I just like to imagine some guy bought it and he goes home, is like all excited, and he's like, "Fuck,
damn kid,
damn 10-year-old Cam,
Hacks Cam,
hacker man, hacker kid."
So when I was a kid, me and my sisters, we probably bought like 10 different copies of each sim game, because we did that every fucking time we bought a game. We would lose the code from the inside. So then like we would uninstall one and then reinstall another one that we did have the code for. That one would go missing. We couldn't find any. We'd buy a new one. We'd install that one. That one would go missing. We'd go scrounging and find old ones and try to uninstall and put them all like just keep trying codes.
That sounds exhausting.
Yeah.
I never had that problem. I liked it when they put it on the back of the CD tray. You know, it was right there. You didn't have to.
Yeah.
Not that it was something inside of the case.
even that could be abused if you really wanted to. Like, I was an honest person, but I could have gone to like Walmart many a times and just scratched off a WoW thing and just took a picture of it and went home.
Why does PC stuff have to have, like, we talked about PC not having physical media, but even when it did, or that was the norm, like, why did we have to have a code also? Like, we don't have to do a code when we play an Xbox 360 game or like anything old like that. Like, that's some nonsense. I have the disc right here.
Because it's easier to pirate.
I guess I forgot burning CDs was a thing.
That's anti-piracy stuff.
I forgot about that. That's old media. Yuck. Disgusting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm gonna put a CD thing in my new PC that I built.
Dude, I made a joke about that the other day, and I looked at my computer, and I was like, how ugly would that be? So many computer cases now don't, like, the whole thing's opened up in a window, so it's like if you put one in there, it's just ugly.
It's gonna be one of those, like, those white box towers. It's gonna be one of those big fucking CD cases.
3.5 inch.
Yeah, one of them suckers that just comes out.
Are you gonna come home from work and listen to your CDs?
Yes, sir. I don't know what Spotify is, man. I'm gonna put in my Creed.
Get
the fuck out of here.
I'm gonna put in my Creed CD and just have a good old time. With arms wide open.
Oh God! Shut it up! Shut it up!
Thank you for that. That made my night. Highlight of the stream.
With arms wide open.
Absolutely not. What?
I love that.
So,
about nostalgia? That was weird.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for. Go ahead, Zaydin. What's up?
I was gonna say, are we good?
Are we good?
I think we're good.
So before you tell us the next topic,
okay,
I mentioned something.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
I can't. All right, good. Next topic. I feel like we haven't spoken, or I guess I haven't gone back and watched them lately or remember what our topic was. I feel like we've been very deep into like video game news, which isn't a bad thing, but I feel like I want to speak on almost like gameplay or experiences in gaming. Does that make sense?
Yes.
How do you mean?
Like, we haven't just been like, yeah, I remember in this game, this thing happens, and that's really cool. We need a list, Foz. We need our favorite somethings.
Favorite somethings.
You know what I mean? I feel like we've just been ripping into just theories and.
I don't think fully, but I do. I agree. I agree with. But
we're not a video game news. We're a video game everything.
I agree with that. I'd like to think we're a video game everything. So news, mechanics, gameplay,
experiences,
experiences, companies, graphics, like any aspect that involves a video game, music. You know, like I think we should talk about it. So I definitely agree with that.
That's good. Yeah, you're right. So we've just been picking at so many little aspects of the game of gaming that's why I felt that way.
I got you. Right. I got you. I
don't know. I just really enjoyed our favorite weapons. Like,
okay. Did you have? Okay, so you were thinking like stuff like that. Well, then, I mean, yeah, we could. I would honestly So the next topic that I had was the lists
of.
Well, I want to save this one now because I feel like it's not going to be like as relevant to like what we were talking about, I guess. Did you guys do you guys have a list that you would like to talk about, or maybe something that you thought of that you think is really, because I have a notepad of things that we could use, but like if you guys have something, then by all means just let me know. Wow, that's crazy.
I was gonna say, Cam, you better say something because this is on you.
Well, I was gonna say just like memorable experiences in video games, but like,
what about favorite boss fight mechanics?
Done.
I'll go first with just.
So I was gonna do that, but then I felt like we might have talked about that with Dark Souls.
That was about it, really. But there are so many other games out
No,
there.
no, I was gonna bring it up. I just didn't want to talk about I just didn't want to bring up Dark Souls again.
So here we go. That question, no Dark Souls edition.
No Dark Souls edition. That's fine.
No boss mechanics, but it can't be Dark Souls for that exact reason.
Okay.
My first one. So I think Halo took a lot of really unique twists on the boss mechanic in general. I think one of the best examples of that was at the end of Halo 2 when you fight Tartarus. The shield mechanic where you have to lower his shields and then damage him while like running away from him on the platform, and there were like the moving platforms around that. That was really cool. And then also the way they worked the Scarab in Halo 3, that was another really unique. It's kind of like a boss, but really it's just an NPC but bigger. I would say those are two good ones to start with.
You kind of killed me, man, with no Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Does Sekiro count as Dark Souls? It's Souls-like, but it's not Dark Souls.
I feel like
It doesn't count.
I feel like we should try to do something different. But that's my opinion. If you want to do something, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say. Because the mechanic is you have to parry, you have to block, and there's not any other game really like that where you have to perfectly time and do usually multiple death blows on somebody to take them out. So I think that deserves praise, even though I guess it's Souls-like or maybe Dark Souls. But even Dark Souls doesn't have something like that. You just block and he smacks somebody in the face with a sword. Like
Soulsborne series.
Okay, Soulsborne, whatever. So where does Sekiro fit in that then? Because it's not Born
Sekiro
or
Born
Souls.
series. I don't know. Did you ever beat the boss, the lightning boss at the top of that tower thing?
No.
At the top of the castle? Did you ever fight him?
Oh yes, I did. Sorry. He has 3.
You did beat him?
Yes, he has 3 phases.
I fought that boss and I was like, all right, I am going to beat this game because that was one of the most fun things. So he had all you could see when you first started the fight was 2 health bars, and you defeat the second health bar and you're like, oh hell yeah, like fight's over. And then there's
like,
one
psych.
more. Yeah. Psych, here I am. I'm even more badass and I have lightning powers. So the mechanic in the fight is that if you're in the air when he strikes you with lightning, you can reflect it back at him.
You
because
can
you're
grab
like,
it with your sword and fucking throw it at him.
So you're not grounded. So you wait for the cue for his lightning. You jump up, you get hit by it, but then you just do a huge slash and it does massive damage. And it's so satisfying.
And it stuns him.
Yes. And it's the one time you're OP, but you have to be good enough to time that attack. And it got me so excited the first time I pulled it off. I was just like, oh my goodness, like I want to just go back and fight that guy 3 more times just to experience the fucking badass lightning sword.
Stan, do you see why I didn't want to bring this up? The bosses. This right here is why. One thing I'm surprised that you didn't say Zidane, because you're such a big Zelda guy, especially Ocarina of Time, is Ganon from like the end of that game.
You're talking about when he's like the monster Ganon?
Yeah. So like, because like you kind of think like you're done, I guess, and then you go down there and he's got like 2 fucking swords, right?
Yep.
If I remember correctly, he's got like 2. And it just starts the fight all over again. It's like way more difficult.
He smacks you in the face. You lose your Master Sword. All you have is the Megaton Hammer. And you're like, I don't know what the fuck to do with this. The first time you play it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, let's figure it out. I don't have a main weapon anymore. And then, naturally swing at everything until you figure it out.
Sure. But yeah, I was surprised. I thought maybe you would say that one. Because to me, that's one of on the Nintendo 64, other than like Bowser, like from Super Mario 64.
That's another great boss mechanic.
Also, Mario says so long, Gay Bowser. Totally not PC. What the hell, man?
So long, Gay Bowser.
Come on, Mario. Come on, man.
I forget what that voice clip was actually supposed to be, but it's definitely not so long, Gay Bowser.
No, it's not. It sounds like exactly like it though.
It does.
Like it really does. You know, one of my favorite fights, I guess I'll go now. But like one of my favorite fights is so in Dragon Age Origins, there's the first time you meet a high dragon, you're up on this. You infiltrate this town, and there's these crazy cultists who worship this giant dragon, who they think is the reincarnation of the god in the universe, and it's not. It's just a high dragon. But you fight this dragon because you go to the mountaintop of you go through the town, you go through the dungeon connected to the town dungeon mountaintop, right? You get to the top of the mountain and you ring a gong to summon this dragon, and she is just like massive, right? She's this gigantic purple dragon, kind of like your traditional fantasy dragon type look. And but the boss fight itself is so fucking difficult. Especially because like Dragon Age Origins has like you stop time and fight, and then you keep going. You use spells, you heal, you taunt, you kind of like traditional role-playing mechanics, but with a little bit of real time snuck in there. And when you finally beat the dragon, if you're like a melee class, you get like a special kill animation where you jump on its head and you kind of wrangle it, and then you like stab it in the head, and it lifts up, so you're like in the air, and you stab it in the head, and then it flips you, and your character does like a flip around. This is just an animation. The thing's already dead, but do like a flip around, and you come down and just put your blade or whatever weapon you have right in its head and its neck again, and then it falls and you like roll off. And just because of the animations, the difficulty, and the grandeur of the fight, I think that's one of my favorites in a video game for sure.
I think blades are cooler than blunt weapons in games.
So that's a good point, Cameron, because when I play Dragon Age Origins, I don't use blunt weapons because it makes the animation look kind of funky. Because like I feel like when they designed the animations, they were focusing on like a blade.
Yeah.
Because some of them look funky if you have like an axe or a mace. So I always try to use a blade.
Blades are just cool.
It's super fucking cool though.
But axes are cool because they're like slashing blunt. You know, they're like kind of an in-betweener.
A mixture. Yeah, I agree.
So I'm satisfied with like sword, daggers, or axes. Bows.
A mace is kind of cool in the fact that you could just fucking bludgeon people with it. I mean, that's pretty fucking metal. Just put some fucking bones into mush, right?
There was a WoW spec where you could rogue spec that you could use that like maxed out, ignored like 30% of armor if you were using maces. So it was the meta for a really long time.
Stun, right?
Huh?
And stun, right?
No, it used to be stun, a chance of stunning. And then because that's like, I think, pretty sure that's what's in Classic now. But then in like Lich King, the spec was you could ignore like 30% of armor. And rogue or warriors already had like 50% reduction. So imagine you're just wrecking them, you're hitting them hard, and it felt good. So speaking of WoW, another awesome boss fight was the Lich King fight. Like at time, it was so much fun. There were so many different mechanics you had to keep track of, and if it worked, you do it. Like we just did AQ40, and we beat Cthulhu, and like that was hard, but it took us like 3 tries. It took us like 3 months to beat Lich King. Like we'd finally get there. He's like the 12th boss in the raid, but then it's like, all right, now you've got to avoid this stuff. 2 people can't stand in here or it's going to grow. If someone gets picked up, they're going to get dropped off the edge and die instantly if you don't kill those things fast enough. Keep the boss here, take the ads this way. Like, there's just so much going on, and that's something that's super cool in a WoW fight. Is just the more mechanics, almost like the better.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember? I agree. As far as like fights go, Lich King is one of the best in World of Warcraft and kind of like in MMO history. But do you remember the first guild that downed them? How they cheesed it with the engineering bombs?
Kept the outside edge so the arena was a lot bigger.
They didn't have to worry about. They basically nulled the mechanic because of that. Which I don't think they and they actually got fucking like banned and shit, bro. Like that shouldn't have happened. That's on Blizzard.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
They were just being clever. Like, and Blizzard punished them for being clever. That's so stupid. Oh, go ahead, Zaydin.
I was gonna say I got 2 more I guess boss fight mechanics that are unique. It's not really a boss fight, but I'm gonna bring up Silent Hill 2, spoiler alert. The first time that you meet Pyramid Head as you're leaving the apartment complex, you're like, oh shit, this is a boss fight.
When he's behind the bars?
No.
Is that what you're talking about?
It's when
you're talking about when you actually engage,
yes,
right?
you engage with him. You walk into a room and boom, there he is staring you down. You shit in your pants, you have your pistol, maybe a shotgun at this point. And you're like, what do I do? Well, history in the world of video games would have taught me that I need to unload every bullet that I have into his dome to survive this.
Into his pyramid head.
Into his metal pyramid head. Well, you would be incorrect. You actually just need to kite him and wait it out. You know, the first time playing that, you're not thinking that. You're thinking that you need to kill this motherfucker. And if you just do survive, I think a siren goes off and he leaves, or maybe he just walks in the water anyway just because he feels like it. But, you know, the first time you do that, you're out of ammo. You're out of everything. You're like, I just got played.
So, Dane, will you please do a let's play of the first 3 Silent Hills for this YouTube channel?
Go ahead and stream it in for the YouTube channel, please. And do Downpour as well, because I like that one.
No, absolutely not. And another, it's actually a game series. Every boss that you encounter has some unique mechanic to it. And that is Metal Gear Solid. Any ones that stick out to me the most are any from Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. You have the Pain. You have I don't remember all their names. The End, the sniper guy. Like that there. Like another spoiler alert. I don't care. You can actually cheese this boss. He's a sniper. He's an old man. He's 100 and whatever years old. You can actually, if you can't beat him like one-on-one, actually finding him, you can cheese him by restarting your PlayStation, taking your system date and time and moving it forward like a year.
It's only like a week.
However long it is, coming back into it, and then you go find him and he's dead. Because he's an old... Go ahead.
Doesn't that fight last a really long time if you do it legitimately?
No, I've done it. It doesn't take very long. It's not too bad.
But it's kind of long.
I mean,
I don't know. I haven't done it. That's just what I've heard.
I did it that way just to see if I could do it. It didn't. It wasn't as bad as, you know, it wasn't like a couple hours or anything. But
I don't like to cheese bosses.
But I cheesed it the first time because I was like, there's no way. But, you know, Konami and Kojima with Metal Gear Solid are very well known for their mechanics with their boss fights. With Psycho Mantis in the first one, having to take your controller out of the port 1 and put it into 2 so he can't read your mind.
It's so clever, dude. That's kind of what put them on the map, was their clever mechanics and stuff like that.
Yep.
So yeah, and it's something that honestly you would never fucking think about.
No, you wouldn't.
What the hell?
And he's like, I'm reading your mind. You save often. No shit.
Right.
You didn't read like
very meta.
Any other Konami games you had on your memory card, he would say something about those games too, right?
I think so. I don't know. I don't think I ever had anything else on it. Konami.
I'm pretty dang sure.
I think I've heard something about that too.
That kind of reminds me, Zidane, of the revolver ocelot fight in Metal Gear, because like you basically how I would do it is like you had to like run and gun.
Yeah.
Kind of kite him as well, really.
You had to run around that corner as fast as possible and shoot and hope you hit
And then
him.
when he stopped, yep. And then when he stops, just otherwise, dude, he's just gonna body you.
Ricochet bullets around the room.
Exactly. One of the things I wanted to say about Pyramid Head though is, I guess as a little kid, I had a lot of balls because I tried to post up with him after I ran out of bullets.
You're gonna start smacking him with the lead pipe.
Yeah.
I thought it was a 2x4 with nails in that game.
I thought it was wood too, actually.
Either you get both. It's wood first. And I'm not sure. I don't remember when you get the steel pipe.
The game scared the shit out of me as a kid. I didn't have the balls to play it.
Another fight I wanted to, and then we'll bring it over to you, Stan, because I feel like you might have one. But do you guys remember the hand from Super Smash Brothers?
Yeah.
Master Hand?
Yeah.
Yeah, the floating hand, right? You guys remember that, right?
Watch some lore on those guys, yeah.
Dude, I would like to watch a lore on that, because honestly, that hand always, and the map design, like it always made me really uneasy.
Yeah, so one of the newer ones, there was like Crazy Hand. And like Master Hand was like very calm and precise, while Crazy Hand did like erratic movements that were like hard to predict. And then they say that like the creator of Smash is like his influence. This is probably very far butchered. Like it's him or something. Like it's his influence and all this. You should really look into Smash lore. Like it's very interesting. And then it's like him trying to grow out of. Now that Zeddy's back, he might be able to let us know for real. Like he'd know. But it's like the whole game is about him. The whole series is about him just like letting go of Smash and like his childhood toys and stuff like that. The guy who made Smash Brothers.
The hand. Okay. Yeah, because Zidane, I was talking about how I really liked the hand boss fight from Smash Brothers. And Cameron was explaining like kind of the lore to that.
Yeah, do you know the lore of Smash?
I think I just heard it. That is the story of the game creators letting go of his childhood toys.
Okay, well, I'm not 100% sure on that, but
it makes sense.
There's significant like meaning to the hands and like it belonging to him, and it's cool. I love Smash. Everybody, we need to have a Smash tournament this weekend.
Absolutely not.
Why not?
I will not play with you.
What? Oh, I playing.
I do have another one, but I'm gonna bring it over to Stan. Do you have another like boss fight that you really really like, Stan?
I have one
just
more
mechanics, not boss fights.
Well,
it doesn't.
Mechanics.
Does it matter? I mean, there's different reasons somebody likes a boss. I feel like, right? Because people can like a boss for mechanics. They can like it for like badassery, aesthetic wise. The boss's role in like the story and everything. So like, I kind of thought of it as a broad one. But anyways, sorry. Go ahead, Stan.
So I think the next one would be either of the fights against GLaDOS at the end of the Portal games. And so
I don't remember them. Can you refresh my mind?
So the first one, you go into GLaDOS' chamber. Spoilers for Portal 1 and 2. The first one, you go into...
Yeah, whoa, guy.
I'm kidding.
I think that was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, spoilers for Portal 3 ahead. So the first one, you spend the whole game basically getting closer and closer to GLaDOS, and then you find her, and you get into her chamber, and she seals the chamber off and starts like venting neurotoxin into the room.
Okay.
And she starts shooting something at you. I don't remember if it's lasers or like a missile or something. But the trick is to kite her into shooting at you and then use a portal to send the projectile back to her. It was like a multi-step boss fight. There were like different heads on her, I think. And I think you'd hit her a couple times and then she'd go into a phase and you had to do something. Maybe. I don't know. That one was really good. And then at the end of the second one, what was that one? It was
The moon.
Was it? I know you end up on the moon somehow, but it was well. So the end of the second one I remember is like GLaDOS or someone or Wheatley or whoever you're like fighting is about to do something. So you shoot a portal under them, and then you shoot the other one onto the moon through a hole in the ceiling.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And like it sucks the bad guy through that and out the hole on the other side on the moon. That was pretty cool.
Interesting.
That's
I have yet to play Portal 2.
Spoiled.
I definitely played the first one a couple times, but I haven't touched 2.
Spoiled it for you.
It's okay. I probably won't
Soiled
play
it.
Boss?
Soiled it.
There we go.
Soiled it. I don't know why I didn't pick up last time, but so I would say a more modern one that I really like is from Doom 2016, the Cyber Demon. Ooh,
yeah, that was cool.
fight is metal as fuck, bro. It's pretty simple mechanics, not gonna lie. But the reason I like the fight is the soundtrack, and I feel like ID kind of wanted to make a boss fight that is more flash than actual like. It wants you to make you feel like you're having like this epic battle, kind of, as you're like dodging. I mean, it's hard, especially on the hardest difficulty, but like as you're like trying to dodge, it shows off like the destroyer's like agility and strength and abilities in a really epic fight with obviously an awesome soundtrack. So that would definitely be a more modern one for me.
And that's like one of 2 bosses in the game.
Yeah, no, there's not that many. What would you consider the other boss?
The mind, whatever at the end.
Yeah.
That's it.
Is there another?
No, I don't think so. I think it's only those 2.
So either. Yeah.
Which is weird for a Doom game, but whatever. But I guess thinking back to the OGs, I don't think there really were bosses. Yeah. So.
At the end of Wolfenstein, you killed like Cyber Hitler.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Fuck Cyber Hitler, dude.
You fuck some crazy Nazi cyber something at the end of every Wolfenstein.
They just got more and more ridiculous every time, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's one series I've never played.
I've never gotten into it either.
You know, I would say another one, since we've already kind of talked about it, would be General Rom from Gears of War 1. Because, so this guy, do you guys know? So he's this gigantic locust. He's bigger. Like, locusts are fucking huge, right?
Yeah.
How big?
Bigger. Locusts, probably, I'm just guessing here, they're probably around 9 feet average. Like, that's like an average locust.
Is that represented in game?
No, not accurately.
They're human sized.
They're bigger than humans in like lore, but the thing is, they wanted like the hitboxes to be the same, you know. So they had to, like, especially in multiplayer, they had to kind of keep them the same. But General Rom is fucking massive, bro. He doesn't even wear armor. He wears like a dark robe, which I think is really badass. Because he's just this big badass in a dark robe. And then he has these bat-like creatures called the Krill that surround him. Now, these creatures will eat and digest anything else, but they cannot eat Rom for some reason. No one knows why. Like any other organic, they will just devour him, but they try and they just fly around him and stuff and cannot successfully like devour him. So he's got a Krill shield that you have to deactivate and then do damage, and it's basically at that point it's just a gauntlet of running back and forth on the train, getting as much distance as possible while waiting for the Krill to die off, and then doing the damage. But he's got like a huge blade and really badass like Lancer Hammerburst like hybrid gun, so his weaponry is really cool as well, and I just think that's a really cool boss fight.
I know Foz has played this game. I don't know who else, but a lot of the boss fights in it are pretty cool. Dragon's Dogma, Dark Arisen.
I need to buy that game.
It's really fun, but like a lot of the mechanics revolve around like climbing on the bosses to like get to weak points. So kind of almost like Shadow of the Colossus-esque. Like climb up to the top of like an ogre and start stabbing him in the eye. Just do like the most damage and just stuff like that. A lot of climbing, a lot of big bosses. And I think that's something really cool with a boss fight. It's like a very large enemy is super cool. And then it's also cool to like in Dark Souls whenever you see someone.
Dude, I was just about to say, I was going to bring that up when you said big, because I was going to say like the counter is like, no, I like the small fights with like knights and shit, but I didn't want to bring it up.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So if you ever find a boss that's your size, then you know it's shit's going down. Like,
dude, those are the coolest fights. Those are the coolest fights in the game, because like it feels like two warriors going at it, rather than, okay, here's a big monster, I have to evade it and hit it.
Yep. So like Bloodborne, you're a hunter. Like I think that's what you're called, is hunters. So there's like multiple times in the game, like instead of an invasion, they'd be hunter fights, and you would fight other guys that are your size, and they were always super hard fights, like, but really cool because it was just like you were fighting an NPC. So someone your size, an NPC, another player. But yeah, it was just like you were fighting someone your size, and your shit was going down.
I don't think I have any more that are coming to mind.
I wanted to know what have you beat Breath of the Wild?
Me?
Yeah.
Nah, I only got off the starting island or whatever it was.
Everybody hates the Ganon fight in Breath of the Wild
because he's a giant monster.
Well, I liked it. I think that if you played the game how it should have been and done the 4, big divine beast bosses, whatever, then he's like half health. And then in like phase 2, like it was a very cinematically cool fight. Like a lot of epic shit went down, but it wasn't hard. Like it wasn't a Ganon fight. Like I think a Ganon into the game boss should be hard. He was not very hard.
Honestly, though, I don't think any Ganon fight that I have ever fought was hard.
So in on top of the tower in Ocarina of Time, he's not hard. But maybe I suck. But when you're at the bottom, and he's, like I said, he's got the 2 swords, he kind of fucks me up, man.
You just smack him in the tail a bunch of times, and then he gets trapped in Zelda's ray of light, and then you shove your master sword up his throat.
I stink, I guess. I had a question. I kind of wanted to know Cameron and Stan's perspective on something. Sorry, Zidane.
You're good.
Your opinion's irrelevant.
I guess so. Fuck me.
Well, the WoW Classic bosses. Which one did you guys like the most?
Yep, no opinion.
Which ones? WoW Classic bosses do I like the most?
Yeah.
I really liked Cthulhu. He was super fun. A lot of stuff going on. Twin Emperors was super fun. And notice these are both from the newest one because shit started to get mechanics finally. Like before that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, before that, I mean, I thought that Neff was fun because you had to split at the end and, fight some people, like some ads. And then, like, randomly, depending on what class call you got, like, something different could happen. And you had to just react. So reacting in a boss fight's cooler rather than just being like, okay, well, we're just going to do this. Make sure you avoid this area. We're going to be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that it's only picking up.
What's the name of the first dragon you see in BWL?
I don't know.
Bailistraza.
Yeah,
you're talking about the 3 loot pinatas, though.
No, I think he's talking about the first, like the second
the
boss,
very
right?
first.
Right?
Yeah, the second fight.
Oh, you like that fight?
I mean, I just think it's interesting because you get like unlimited mana for the whole fight.
Our old guild should have been much quicker after that fight. I feel like you could blow through the next room in 2 minutes with that buff still.
Yeah.
But we just never got there. We were like always, we got 20 seconds of the buff left. Let's fight half this pole with it, and that's it.
Problem is you're not talking about the slow room. You're talking about the next room with the like 2 groups of dragons, right? You could blow through that. Yeah. I thought you were talking about the slow room, and I'm like, well, they have a point because it's not like you're going to hurry through that because of the traps. But I would say probably my favorite is I don't know.
Rag was really cool. Just because he's so big, and it was totally different than anything else in that raid.
He like pops out of the fire.
You get launched into lava, maybe.
I feel like Cthulhu. I probably have to agree with you just because he's an old god, and that's like some of my favorite lore in World of Warcraft. And like you said, the fight is mechanically intensive.
Yeah.
And it's one of the first ones in Classic WoW that is mechanically intensive.
I think Twin Emperors is mechanically intensive for healers at least, because
Yeah,
you have to know like who the boss is targeting, because even whenever he does the swap, he's either going to be attacking whoever was attacking him. Like it was just really confusing.
Is it a flat aggro reset? So
yes.
like, right, every single time, right?
Yeah, so it was either going to be the warrior or the warlock that was going to be taking aggro, depending on which emperor is on your side. But even if it was like the melee one and the warrior should take it, most of the time the warlock would be taking it for the first hit or two. So you had to be able to see when the other guy pulled aggro to swap. Because if you didn't swap appropriately on those heals, then you were screwed. And I can only imagine being one of the healers that like followed the melee DPS that ran around. Like that'd be kind of cool to just follow a pack of friendlies through the
watching them
arena.
run back and forth.
Yeah,
that's what I did.
Yeah, I didn't do that. I
ran back and forth
heal
melee.
I'm a priest. I maintain heal, bud.
Yeah. I had just thought about that, and I was curious what your guys' opinion was.
Also, I'd say honestly, I don't know why I didn't think of this. My favorite one was probably Oni. I love fighting Oni.
Yeah. How come?
Just it's really fun. Like, all right, everybody stand here, and then you do the dance of like, where's she gonna shoot fireballs? Where's she gonna breathe fire? You got to handle the whelps, and I felt like 75% of the time we did that boss, people fucked up, got themselves killed because not staying in the right spot. So they were always like really long-lasting fights. So you would just be standing in this corner, like hoping you don't get a bad fear, just trying to keep the boss alive. You could do that whole fight with like 5 people. It'd just take a really, really long time. But I feel like most of the time it was ending with like 10, 15 people. And you were just like doing this gauntlet, just trying to stay alive and, keeping it going. I love that. It was a stamina battle.
No opinion.
Nice. Proud of you.
Like, you can't do it.
MMO fights are cool though. That's what my favorite thing about WoW is you're working together with so many people. Yeah, like most other games, it's a small group. This is a group of 40 human beings yelling at each other, trying to get some shit done.
I would say that
sounds exhausting.
I definitely I agree. But I definitely appreciate like the large scale amount of people. But like, I think also in a lot of MMOs they make fights that are really good for like 5 to 25 people, to where you don't even need the scale. It's just the mechanics and the teamwork is really solid. But
I haven't done much MMO boss fighting rather than WoW.
Yeah, but I think you've done some of the old. Yeah, I guess.
RuneScape bosses.
Well, like the Ender Dragon. I guess that would be the boss.
That's Minecraft.
Or Minecraft. Sorry, I thought that's what you said.
Don't be a boomer.
What? You're the one who plays Minecraft.
Yeah.
You have a Minecraft server, kid. What are you talking about?
I have nothing against Minecraft. Minecraft's cool. Minecraft's cool.
It's one of those things I can't get into.
I like it.
I love it. It's a crafting game.
Yep. I know. That's why you like it.
If I'm in the mood, it's my favorite thing at that time. And I'll sink hours and hours into it. But then
the only thing I like is the piano. Everything else is boring.
Yep.
Yeah, music's great.
I agree with Fosman.
Since last stream we've gotten these boys playing some FTL, or at least I did.
I fucking love me some FTL.
That music.
I've played FTL.
That music.
All you need is that music.
And the gameplay though. I mean the gameplay really is phenomenal. It's some good ass strategy.
For a game that's like 50 megabytes, yeah, it's good.
Ooh. I've even gone back and been playing it now. Like I'm kind of excited. I wish I had more time to play this week. So I could be playing me some FTL. Shucks.
So I had probably one more boss that, because I've kind of been thinking about this the whole time as we've been talking about it and going through and everything. Shao Kahn from Mortal Kombat. I really like that fight as well. It's super hard on number 9 because if you gain too much distance, he'll throw a hammer at you, and if you get too close, he'll combo you to fucking
oblivion.
So you kind of have to keep a balance. And also, he's just always been the most badass villain in that franchise to me. I think the rest of the villains are kind of boring, but Shao Kahn's a fucking badass, and I love him.
Was Goro in that one?
In 9?
Yeah.
Or...
Yeah.
Yeah.
9. Forearm guy.
When you said Goro, I thought you were talking about the girl, which is like Shiva or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both in 9. Yeah.
Was Goro a lead up fight to Shao Kahn?
Yeah.
As it should be.
Yeah, for sure. Like, he's his follower.
Perfect.
Shao Kahn's always the big boy on campus. The big dick swinging.
That's one thing I've never gotten into, really, is fighting games. It's hard for me to do it. Just that and MMOs,
Really?
Man.
I can play like Soul Calibur for fighting games.
Dude, Soul Calibur is probably the best. Cash. I would say, I know I said this earlier, but it's true. Like, I think they're best with friends. Like, I've never played a Mortal Kombat game like on my own, but I've done a lot of couch co-op, or not co-op, but couch playing with friends playing Mortal Kombat. That's when the game
play it.
Yeah, that's when the game shine. Like, some people like to grind online, whatever servers, and I think that's cool, but
there's skill level involved though. So it's
True.
like if you have a friend playing and you're the best one in the friend group, like I can't play Smash with anybody because no one play Smash with me. You're too good. So it sucks. And I'm in this awkward state of being too good to play with my friends, but not good enough to play online. Like against the crazy people.
Who do you play?
I mean, I just haven't played any. Like I used to play with Logan a lot.
No,
Logan.
character.
I really like Greninja in the newest one.
Isn't he kind of like one of the best though?
I don't know.
Characters overall. I feel
I like anybody who's fast. Glass cannon builds are where I'm at, boys. Glass cannon, a sense of damage, I guess, or speed.
I like King Koopa.
I like your style.
I really like Ice
Koopa
Climbers.
Was more of a Meta Knight guy.
Dude, Ice Climbers was fucking... I loved Ice Climbers in the other games. I just thought it was so cool that you played as 2 people. And I just... Like, they're so cute, and I love their moveset. Also, Stan, Meta Knight is really cool.
Did you eat some Japanese candy? Is that making you feel sick?
I haven't eaten any.
You were like,
but thank you.
Half burping like that whole time. I was like, what is happening?
Sorry, dude, it happens.
the thing about the newest Smash, I love Smash. The newest one is I like to play just a lot of different characters. There's so many that it's just, why not try out a bunch of different things? And it's not fun to sit there and just play who your best character is. You know what I mean? It's just, you got to keep mixing it up and doing new things. And
kind of like what you said about Apex and wanting to play with different guns, right?
Right, but Apex, I play with the same character all the time.
Well, no, but I'm saying with the guns and characters, like you're basically what I'm saying is you like a variety.
Mm-hmm.
I get that.
I like variety in my games, but I do tend to stick to one thing. What, Foz? Why are you laughing?
I'm just smiling, man. I'm happy. You know what? So one thing I was going to say is like, I haven't been like that into games like lately, and I haven't been into like, I don't know. I just really have fun when we come together and talk about this. So,
so it is good time.
I'm glad you guys are here, and I'm glad
we're sophisticated gamers.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, that's a stretch.
We're gamers.
I am a gamer.
We drooled about waifus like 2 weeks ago. So like, We're not too sophisticated.
Yeah, no, I really do.
We learned that Stan and Zidane have really low standards when it comes to their waifus. That's the main thing that we learned, is that they only like fire crotches.
Hey man, I like what I like.
You're fucking delusional, bud. Sorry, man.
Anyways, that's what we learned, and nothing we can do about it.
What did you learn?
Hopefully they get some help.
Well, all right.
So are we good?
I'm good. Yes, sir.
Well, that about concludes this episode then.
Whoa, we need one more little bit of. Let's send us off here. I don't know what.
Encore?
Encore. I feel like we haven't hit our 2 hours. I feel like 2 hours is like our minimum.
Encore. So we're actually at 2 hours.
Yeah, we've hit 2.
Let's do an encore.
What have you guys been playing lately?
Guys,
let's just do a quick one.
Restart an episode after we did our outro.
No, I'm saying just a little bit more. The encore is one more song. So what have you guys been playing lately? Let's just talk about that.
Space Engineers.
Nothing new, huh?
It's always Space Engineers for him.
It's always Space Engineers for Stanley.
Well, you mentioned it earlier. I've been playing FTL. Was recently introduced to me by you, Cam. I almost have every ship unlocked. I'm only missing 2 now. So there's that.
Wow, you've really been playing that.
Yeah,
huh?
I've been playing the shit out of it. It's just so fun. That's my roguelike. Like, that's my jam.
That's my favorite thing about roguelikes is that you can just sit down and play through it and just be done with it then.
And a full run takes, if you get all the way to the end, maybe 40 minutes, maybe 45, and you beat the game.
Yeah, it's super cool. Like, that's how Binding of Isaac is. I love Binding of Isaac, and you can just run through it.
You either get your shit pushed in, or you get enough shit to push other people's shit in.
I like that middle ground though, wherever you're like struggling the whole time, and it's like everything.
I want to dominate.
Yeah, I mean it's fun either way, but I think it's cool to be like, oh, I'm the struggler.
Like, I want to walk into, like in Binding of Isaac, I want to walk into a room and everything just fucking explode.
Do you guys remember that 5-second world record video I posted? This was about a year ago, probably, about Binding of Isaac, where the guy had he got the luckiest RNG ever. You guys don't remember?
I kind of remember it.
I've seen a lot of Binding of Isaac videos where there's one-shot rooms consistently. Every time they walk in, everything dies. They just keep going and going.
Remember when Binding of Isaac got popular, and then it felt like for a year every game on Steam, new hot game, was just a roguelike for a whole fucking year?
Yeah.
I remember.
I think I was more into Battlefield 4 at that point, so I was
probably
oblivious.
Speaking of roguelike games, I'd give up some of my Space Engineer time to play some Risk of Rain with you guys.
I'm down.
Risk of Rain 2 specific.
Yeah, Risk of Rain 2. I think Risk of Rain, the original, was like a platformer.
It was weird.
Yeah.
But it looks so much like the second. They made that 3D of Risk of Rain 2 so good, and I just noticed that from playing a minute of the original one, not knowing anything about it. I played the original one. I was like, wow, this is very similar, in a 2D sim.
So,
what have you been playing, Foz?
Thanks, buddy.
I got you.
I usually have to transition, but you did it for me, man.
I got you.
I was gonna say I've been playing. I started up the Outer Worlds again. I don't have a lot to say about it yet because I just got through the starting area again for the first time, which I've done a couple times by now, and I want to get to the real game, which is after that. I made a dashing pistol wielding type character, Charmer, but yeah, kind of maybe Old West, something like that. So it's super fun. And then the other game that I've been playing is Dark Souls 2. Which
You're
not supposed to talk about Dark Souls.
What I've been, it's just a fact, man. I wanted to say this on here though, is because I'm sorry, Cameron, but
uh-oh.
It has those No, I like it a lot, and I think you're being unfair, sir.
No, I'm not.
You son of a gun.
I'm not.
You should try one more time. Do a strength build and see what you think. But just try it. Whatever. But get the gut sword, ball out.
Mhm.
But one thing I will say, Cameron, that is a huge detriment, and you won't admit this because I think you're a fucking fanboy. I'm calling you out, but the design choice of like the game is kind of fucked. It's fucked.
Weird. I've said it's weird before.
It's not like one in what I assume 3 because I've seen Zidane and you play 3. Is that it's different, bro? They turned it up unnecessarily and they just made it like it's bad and it's not the right way to do it. And I don't think you admit that.
I don't think it's artificially that more difficult. Like, especially, I think you'll take that back as you play more through with the strength build. I think you're gonna go. I think you were just experiencing Dark Souls as like a regular build and just getting fucked
exploding barrels, doorway that makes you fall. That's what I'm not talking about the build, Cameron. I'm talking about those things.
The doorway that made you fall. I saw that coming.
The huge amount of trash between you and a boss.
But there's not. Think about walking. Think about walking from the McDuff's bonfire to the Ruined Sentinels. You fought 10 enemies. You fought one.
Okay, think about the Tower of Flame bonfire from there to the Dragon Guardian, Old Guardian, whatever his name was. Think about that.
6.
Think about the trash between the in the tower. No, not the Tower of Flame again. You know what I'm talking about? The first spot, like one of the first areas, all the way up to the
What's the boss? What's the boss look like?
I think it's the first time you fight that trash enemy later. He's just trash later, but that's the first time you face him. So think about that. Yes.
There's shortcuts you unlock to make it very quick.
Well, you can't. That's not a valid argument. Saying that there's a shortcut that you can know later and make it easier. That's not a valid argument for someone who plays the game the first time. No, it's not, dude.
But Dark Souls 1
it's not.
Dark Souls 1 prides itself on its shortcuts.
I know that, but the first game was like, there are these shortcuts, but if you play it the long way, dude, I love to play. I went through Plague Town the first time the long way because like I didn't mind that shit. It was good.
No, I'm not saying shortcuts.
Hey, Wharf Master's fucking place too. That one is so like there is so much trash between you and the boat. Are you kidding me?
But all you have to do is
they just make it unnecessary. I don't know that the first time I played the game, homie.
No one does. You didn't either, Cam.
Yeah, you didn't know that either, and you don't want to look because that takes away the fun. But your excuse is that as soon as you know this, then it's easier. Well, yeah.
But that's what Dark Souls 1 is like too, though. Like, think if you never found that ladder.
It's turned up in 2, dude.
Think if you never found that ladder to kick down underneath the bridge where the dragon's bringing fire, and you didn't have that bonfire, you had to walk all the way around. Like, think if you never opened the door right before the gaping dragon, like that area, like where that merchant is, and you could just cut through, back right to Firelink. Like if you never found that. Remember you found that elevator in the undead the Daughter of Chaos. You found that elevator and like, whoa, I didn't even know that existed. Because it got unlocked later. Yeah. Remember? And it'd take you all the way down to where you fought like Ceaseless Discharge.
It goes up and down, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. There is just I think that you both almost are giving it an unfair thing.
I think you're being an apologist, bro. You really are, because it's your favorite game ever. I'm sorry.
I love that game. It's Dark Souls 1,
obviously, bro.
But it's good. I mean, I've been having a hell of a time. I'm rusty at it, and I've been playing through as a dex build. I'm having fun with
too. I'm having fun right now too. But like, I think that it's.
I really want to know what you think about 3. I'm ready to play through 3 again once you get to 3. And talk about that too, because I've only played 3 is probably the one I've played through the least, to be honest. So I'm curious to see what I even think of it after I play it again. We'll stop talking about Dark Souls. So what
you think both of us are being unfair, and you're not being an apologist? You think like? I think I'm pretty fair about this, man. I just legitimately feel that way about the game.
Maybe I am fanboying, but I just want to say, I want to play 3 now to form a better opinion on 2, because I've played through 1, 25, 30, shitloads of times. I've played through a whole bunch of times. I've played through 2 and 3 like 2 or 3 times. You know, not a whole lot. But I just remember like 2 was just, I remember it being really fun, and then I remember 3 being kind of a drag. So that's why I always say it's 1, 2, 3.
1, 3, 2. Anyway, moving on.
1.
Anyway, I've been playing
1, 1, and 1.
Yep.
Yeah, I won't disagree with that. I don't even know what I've been playing. I've kind of between games right now because I was really into WoW. And I still am. Like me, you, and Stan have made those new characters, which has been really fun. You're falling out of that? I don't care. I got another character level.
World of Botcraft, dude. Stand there and get boosted all day. How fun, dude.
I like it. I like to see those numbers go up. I played a little FTL, and I really want to play some FTL. I haven't gotten to sit down and play it for a whole, hour session. I don't know what else. I think I really have considered like, so did you stop playing Sekiro?
I mean, no.
Okay, well, as soon as you catch up to where I am, which is pretty dang close, I'm gonna start playing that. But I also really want to play Fallout New Vegas. Like, our friend George is playing it, and he's been talking to me about it. I'm just like, thanks. And I really want to play it. Ooh, Fallout games, Bethesda.
Just play Outer Worlds, man. You said you wanted to.
I probably should actually do that. Probably a good idea.
You should just play Fallout New Vegas because that's a good game.
Yeah, but Outer Worlds is a good game. Or what I remember of it was a good game.
It's not as good, but it's good. It won, by the way, that game won Game of the Year, and I don't think that... I like the game a lot, but I don't think it deserved that. I think that was just people being hyped and like...
Right. No, I think
what we were talking about earlier.
I feel like if it was a Fallout open world kind of Fallout length, and also the Fallout open world, I think it definitely would have potential to be Game of the Year. But I'm pretty sure it's short. Like, it's a pretty quick run through, and the worlds are kind of underwhelming because you have to go to like different levels, and the open world aspect of those levels is not.
It's kind of small. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess I do want to play it though. It was good. And like I say, the guilty pleasure of Fallout 4 is the shooting, the fighting mechanics. Like I don't know many first person shooters where you get to fight monsters. And that's something I remember about the Outer Worlds. Like that was cool. Like the gunplay was fun.
That's why I roleplay like a charming pistol using son of a gun, man. I got my 6-shooter. I'm just pop, 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 pop.
No, I think I want to play that. You're right. I think I should.
I would definitely recommend fucking KOTOR though. Like
I want to play something with a lot of. I know how you say you don't think turn-based combat. Like it's not turn-based in that is
the rest of it. I mean, it kind of is, but like I feel like the rest of the game heavily makes up for that.
No,
that part.
I think so too. I've played a little bit of it, but I want something with some gameplay. So that's kind of why I want to play Outer Worlds. Because you'd say that gameplay's pretty interactive. Like you're really into it, and the fights are good, and
for sure.
So yeah, I think that'd be sick to play.
I like it more so when you're fighting other people with guns and stuff than monsters. But
so that we talked about The Witcher earlier. I really liked fighting other humans rather than the beast. I don't know why. I thought that was
what?
I liked the hunt, but in Witcher you have like kind of a hunting aspect to it and a preparation aspect, and that part I liked.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but when you fought humans, you just cut their limbs off, cut their fucking head off. Like
the animation.
Really cool. Yeah, and you could parry humans. Couldn't really parry monsters, or maybe I just didn't try. I don't remember.
You definitely
the monsters. Yeah, monsters were cool and all, but I think that the human fights were the ones that I liked more.
I had this one ability where you hold light attack and Geralt just swings his sword, kind of like a dancer. He just swings his sword around his head, and it's a constant animation until you run out of stamina. And he just swings it around and over and to the side and everything. And you'll hit anything in your vicinity. And it's super fun to get a bunch of humans together and just
chop everything off.
Yeah.
Ooh, I kind of want to play that. Yeah, I'm excited. I've really been on a single player kick lately. Like,
me too.
I want to go play some, some group shooters or something for just a little bit, but then I'm basically like, let's just hang out, and I want to play some shit while you, like how you've been playing Dark Souls 2. Like, I really like watching you play Dark Souls 2, but that's just because I like Dark Souls.
I played a little bit of Apex lately, but
I've been playing a little bit of Apex lately. It's been actually pretty all right. And then we played some pub the other night. That was fun.
Not bad at all.
Pub was really fun, actually.
Zaydeen was playing some deathmatch earlier.
I was.
Today?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was streaming it.
Shit, remember I played last night? I need to play some more with you. We're gonna be busy though.
That's all I got.
We good?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Good. All right. Well, we're just about done here. Thank you for watching, and like always, thank you guys for like taking the time to do this with me. Like I said, it's probably the favorite part of my week. So
it was a pleasure.
Same.
Animal abuse. We support animal abuse here.
That was not abusive. He's fine. I told him no before he jumped.
Did you throw him over your head?
No, I just kind of threw him.
That'd be really mean.
No.
Cats
all right, everybody. We do not support animal abuse here.
Like,
Make sure to comment, like, share, and